What's happening with the world? It's me, Mac West.
Hey y'all, it's Su1cide Entertainer.
And with that being said, you know who it is, your boy said.
That's right. Back with another one. Shut up and listen. You feel me?
Hey.
Show chance.
And today, Su1cide's gonna introduce us with the topic.
Now I'm introducing the topic. Okay, well, let's get into a conversation, y'all, about keeping secrets.
Okay.
There's a lot of secrets going on publicly with people we know.
Yeah,
We can look at media. Specifically, like, we can call out some stuff. We got the situation with the One Direction singer and, people talking about secrecy around substance abuse, mental health, depression. We got everybody know the did he do it, did he not situation.
Right. You got slogans for him already.
I'm trying to tell you, it's the hit big. So I feel like all this stuff is a perfect firestorm to talk about what's going on in the house, staying in the house.
Right.
Dirty little secrets.
Right.
And how we respond as a culture, because I think that has a lot to do. Now, I can't speak for the rest of the world,
Right.
but I strongly believe it has a lot to do with how Black men and women, BIPOC men and women, and urban men and women relate to each other.
Okay.
So let's get into it. What y'all think? I'm gonna, of course, let y'all open it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think as far as, let's just start as the common thread or what's always been said is snitches get stitches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we start there. And I feel like a lot of times that get applied to some of the wrong things. At the end of the day, it's all about being a good character, first of all, and there are certain things that qualify as snitching and that don't. You know what I'm saying? You live by a certain code. If you are with somebody who is not necessarily living by the same code as you, then that's kind of where the lines get blurred sometimes. It's where it comes in as far as, do I say something about this or do I not? And within the household, within the family or whatever it is, what goes on in this house stays in this house. At the end of the day, somebody in that house needs to, if somebody's being abused or taken advantage of or something like that, somebody in that house, somebody that cares about that person should call whoever is stepping outside the lines or being overbearing to the side and like, hey, or have a family meeting against this one person. Like, hey, what? That's not, we're gonna tighten you up if you keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Going outside the household, meeting people and getting into business, it's not necessarily always the same, but people get carried away.
Most
Ooh, we
most
live in
definitely.
a culture of pyorrhea of the mouth.
Right.
We like the way that people have emotional vomit syndrome
Right.
is crazy to me.
Right.
It's almost like people are so combusted that any chance they get to say something, they just spill it out. So there's no tactfulness or decency for like what's going on staying in the house.
Right.
But also, what's going on in the house might be happening in the house because people have emotional vomit syndrome.
Right.
The people in the house don't know how to be healthy, control their emotions, talk, get along, or express things. So it's just all kind of chaos flying all over everywhere. That's why y'all want nobody to know, because your trash is trashy, it's nasty.
Right.
It don't have to be that dirty, but you just filth.
Right.
You're filth and you're reading each other for filth, and it come out so stank, you wouldn't dare want people to know.
Right. You watch hoarders. You're hoarding.
Dysfunction.
Right. Walking by the door is gonna smell.
It's gonna smell like,
It's
oh,
gonna
that's
come
funky.
out.
That's dusty. What's going on?
Right.
Like how I think about it is just like the natural gossip. Like people want to gossip, and then
True.
and then we don't have no filters for what we gossip about and things, but we also don't recognize that we're gossiping because we're gossiping about ourselves.
Right.
And like I see the things that you do and within me, so I'm saying something because even though I'm putting it on you, it's really without
Something about me. I
it's
can
really
relate to.
something about me. And
Yeah.
then another thing
That's good.
is
That was good.
and then another thing is when said was like snitches get stitches and stuff like that. I also like have another phrase, like not another phrase, but elders, they never told us what happened. They never tell us our history.
Right.
So, but they have it. So since you don't tell it and you had it, you gave us these habits of having secrets.
Right. Say now that people on the street, I don't know Diddy. I don't know Diddy. I've never been to a Diddy party. I have nothing idea whatever it is. So I can't say what's been going on with this. How do you know that's been going on for years? If you know that's been going on for years, how do you know that? And if it's been going on for years, somebody should have
Somebody should have spoke up. But it's the same thing as all these cases, right? Like, that's the one thing we know in urban culture is that our negative will always get highlighted extensively over our positives. I mean, it's so many people. It's always predators. It's always secrets. It's always evil versus good.
Right.
But you over here chuckling when we were talking about like families having emotional vomit syndrome and like it's so dirty and nasty inside your situation. You don't want to talk about it, even though you really should be getting help.
Mm-hmm. Like you're not telling us, you feel me? Basically like who we
you're
are.
Not telling the whole story.
Right. You're not telling the whole story. So now we ain't out and about. You feel me? And it happens to all of us.
Right.
We don't tell the whole story. We only tell y'all what we want y'all to know.
Telling your side.
Yeah, Instagram.
Right.
Social media.
Yeah, social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you choose to create the narrative that you want people to see.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, you might be embarrassed about who you truly are.
Yeah.
You know? Or you just might not want to expose.
I just want to piggyback on a couple of things that both of y'all have said. I think the phrase "snitches get stitches" is super powerful, just like the idea that elders don't tell and don't pass down info.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're both powerful for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like creating that narrative of snitches get stitches literally enforces us not to talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's unhealthy. To be honest, I feel like snitches are the stitches. Like that's what's helping stuff heal. If you don't, you gotta take the Band-Aid off. You know, at some point you have to just be honest about the way things are. And so even when we look at it from like where it was rooted, you know, snitches get stitches, don't talk to the police, don't tell 12 and what have you.
Yeah.
Even in that, there's a lot of cases where people in our community are being re-victimized or have been re-victimized or never got help because people would rather pull out a phone or they would rather ignore or they would rather not tell so that they don't have to get involved. Right? We see that happening in social media. We see it happening in private lives out of habit. It's so many people, like we talking about these cases and all these people who are victims, but it's people we know in our real lives who go through things and we don't say nothing. Like how many times this year have y'all gotten a call from somebody who was in despair or depression or who needed some emergency help or was being abused or neglected or had a situation where someone was not treating them fairly or lawfully? You know, did any of us hop on the phone and call authorities, police, family, friends, therapists? Not telling is such a part of our natural culture that is unhealthy.
Right.
You know, another thing when every time somebody asks you how you doing, we just give them a cliche answer. Oh, okay, I'm good. But in actuality, you don't talk about your feelings.
Yeah, but I mean, then
you know,
when
so
you do,
like you even keeping that like super private. It like how you feel is a secret. Like as well, is it that deep?
I mean, it depends. I feel sad on that. It depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's comes to for the importance of, you know, building true relationships and knowing who is truly in your circle. You know, there are some people out there who you just need to give that general answer to because they like to gossip and they're only asking you that, you know what I'm saying, they can have, you know, get that and then use it against you or go out and spread the news or whatever. When you talked about the elders not passing it on. Okay, so this, I feel like, especially as Black Americans, like back in the day when we was a community or, you know, when it was, I can understand don't snitch. Like if you don't tell them.
Don't tell us.
But we gonna handle it. You know, you're not gonna we gonna handle that. But if somebody come around knocking and says, hey, is I'm looking for Ray? Nah, Ray ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Ray go hide at your aunt's house. Uncles and everybody go there and tell, hey, look, you got these people coming around here asking us questions about you and whatever it is. You need to sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It still got handled. We police ourselves. It's just not, you don't just stop at snitches get stitches. The community took care of itself. That's why you didn't really have to snitch, because, you know, if you were misbehaving, it came out. Our culture has been programmed and led to perpetuate the toxicity of those types of behaviors. And unfortunately, we were forced to kind of do some dirt to come up. Not even forced to, because that's just what America was built on. That is the American way, I think. You know, we've been kind of led into following that pattern because we were stripped of our history, we were stripped of whatever it was, you know what I'm saying, and telling certain things or trying to.
But you see this with all cultures today. You see this with all I mean, more commonly you're gonna see it in BIPOC and Black and urban culture.
Mm-hmm.
But just in general, like people not talking about things that are wrong, and instead talking about things from a gossip perspective, like not sharing to get solutions,
Right.
not sharing to be accountable, but sharing just for gossip,
Right.
and then going a step further and encouraging everybody to participate in a dysfunctional behavior. I mean, that's not isolated. We're the most seen on TV,
Right.
Because
But
we the most entertaining.
Like, okay, so you take the Kardashians, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Their toxicity and drama gets keeping up with the Kardashians. It gets multi-million or whatever, but it's still whatever. But you know, it's whatever. But then if you got when it's like T.I., Diddy, or anybody black, it's kind of turned. You know what I'm saying? We kind of take it and ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? But they're either gonna go to jail or get canceled or something like that. Even with Weinstein, he wasn't necessarily knocked off the pedestal.
I mean, you can look at it from that lens, but I really don't think that matters so much as the point that people are not talking about things from a healthy perspective, and it's causing so much dysfunction, mental illness, emotional illness. Like, I don't care. Like, not that economics and all of the social economical things don't play into it, right? When we talk about culture, but in this space, when we're just talking about like healthy versus unhealthy secret keeping and holding space to talk about things in a way that's functional. I mean, I put the Kardashians in the same pot as the Diddys, the Weinsteins, like holding those kinds of secrets, having dysfunctional behavior going on and not being willing to talk about it because it's your business, or holding those secrets because you don't want to offend the people who are around you, or
Right.
the people who you see exhibiting the behavior, is just not healthy.
Right.
Like, it's counterproductive no matter what your tax bracket is.
Right.
And it's making the world sick. Like,
Right.
we are feeding into it. We're teaching each other that it's okay to not be okay and not find a way to get okay by talking about it or getting help or reaching out.
Right.
We're teaching each other to hold each other's dysfunction and secrets as a form of loyalty.
Right.
That's what's crazy to
Right.
me.
Right.
I mean, that's a form of communication because we all go through pain and hurt, and so like now I have a bond with you, you know, with this fact, with this secret,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then it's also it could be a good one or it could be a bad one, you know. So it's just like the kids who went through traumatic situations with being touched or something like that.
Right.
You feel me? But you got the victim that did it, you know, that perspective, and then you got the person who they did it too.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And then it's just like, well, both of them are quiet now.
Right.
But then when it comes out, like when the secret comes out, and they look for help, and then two things happen: either they get shunned or they get believed.
Right.
And just having that, you know, expose that you trying to expose yourself, you know, to
Right.
in this situation, you know, to somebody, and then you have to argue with somebody about
What happened?
what happened to you.
Yeah.
So I could understand, you feel me, about keeping secrets, you know, just to protect your, you know, your essence, you know, in this case.
Right.
But at the same time, like, how much are you protecting yourself?
Right. Right. Right.
You know, like that's another thing. And then, are you really doing damage by keeping your mouth quiet?
Right.
You know, like, I understand that you just went through something traumatic, regardless on what it is, you know, or what the case may be. But are you doing yourself a disservice by keeping this secret to yourself?
What is it?
Or not
So is
exposing it to
that
the world?
the person that if somebody came to you with a secret, like a heavy one, like does that put the person who received that secret first? You know what I'm saying? Because that's sometimes, you know, I mean, like I said, if I got a heavy one, there's only a couple of people I might go to.
I think
So
it's
if that
people
person-
level.
That person has a responsibility of kind of saying, okay, I hear you, whatever it is. What would you like me to do? How do you want to handle this? Because I feel like something should be done about it, or you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there are certain things in my life that have kind of, you know, that I've received that I really don't necessarily know what to do about. You know what I'm saying? And I can't necessarily do the thing that I want to do about it.
In that situation.
You know what I'm saying? In that situation. And then when I go to somebody else who holds a little bit of accountability or responsibility for the situation, and I say, hey, this happened, what are we gonna do about it? Or I don't want to blow up. I don't want to blow up because
blow
I'm
up the spot on the secret.
right.
That you
But you need to do something about this.
But you know this other person could help.
Right.
But I think that's the problem, though. Like that's the problem.
And if you don't,
First of all, like pick wisely. Pick your people wisely.
Right.
Like know your people, but also know that it's a give and take relationship. If I choose you to be a confidant, it's not a give all that I could just confide in you and I have no accountability to what I confide.
Right.
Like, cause once I release something, I don't fully control it anymore.
Right.
And that's a false sense of loyalty that I think social media definitely helps us put on each other as people. Like you're not loyal to me if you don't agree with my version of the story, or if you don't tell the story when I want it to be told. But when you brought me the story, you made it my story. You made me responsible, and we don't give enough credence to capacity and boundaries. Like, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, just in my personal life, because I feel like it keeps coming up. We tend to have so much emotional vomit and want to be close to people that will connect with people, but through a false sense of obligation. And what if you telling me something so heavy that I have to tell somebody else? So now I'm being disloyal to you if I'm healthy to myself.
Right. So when a person tells you a secret, right? it comes out,
Keep it real.
9 times out of 10, when a person comes and tell you a secret, it's from left field.
It's, this wasn't on my agenda today.
So when you receive this,
I don't need a loan money. Hey, you want some money? I need some money.
Just to fix it.
Now, but when you receive this information, like, do you ask the person that gave it to you, like, well, what am I supposed to do with this now?
I feel like I do, but we should be saying that.
Do you want me to help you, like talk to the person, or do you need help with this situation, or
you just venting,
or you just venting,
or they know you.
Right.
Or
like people who know you, they know what they get.
Or like sometimes they'll come, like, do you think this person is coming to you because you have the strength to talk about it, or to confront the issue? You know what I'm saying? That hand, like, why is this person coming to you?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Right.
And like sometimes, and that makes a lot of sense too. Like some people, like, I barely know. Sometimes they know me through association, will hit me on Instagram and ask me, like, to help them with something, and I just be like, "Cut, I don't even know you, man. Like, I really just know you by your handle. I don't even remember your name, but you asking for me.
We met that one time, or not even at all.
Right, but you want to confide in me, you know, because you had a good time that one time.
That one time.
Yeah, so it's just like, nah. And then, like, you know, I pick and choose, like sometimes I let it come in one ear and not the other, because it's not gonna do me no good. I really can't help. Yeah. I can't help you.
It's nothing I could do.
There's nothing I could do. But like, I'm glad that you got it off your chest.
Right.
But like, like, even your secret that you just told me, or whatever you just did, like, you know, it's water off a duck's back.
Right.
But I feel like that's such a common thing, and I love that you brought that up, because there is that level of like assumed responsibility that people put on each other. We met, we connected, we follow each other, so now we're friends. And if I need help, you'll help me. If I sell something, you'll buy it. And when I DM you, you're gonna answer right back and solve my problems or support me. No. It says followers and following. We're not friends.
Right.
So first of all, I think like a big part of what happens in life right now is we are convoluted about the nature of relationships. Like, that's a big part of why secrets get held versus when they get told, and why people feel accountable versus why they could easily say, like, well, it wasn't me, like, I was there, but like, I wasn't involved, I didn't know I was supposed to tell. We got these false senses of connection, these inappropriate attachments to people that don't really have substance. These people these were never your advocates. And you also shouldn't feel like, because we're friends, or I seem healthy, and this is me, she, her, we, us. As a wellness and success professional, I'm not your friend. Like, I love that people connect to me. I love to be of service. I love to help people. But I also respect my boundaries with my family, my friends, people who are close to me versus associates versus people who I don't even know. And because of social media and this whole 20% world we live in, people do what you were talking about, Mac, all the time, and then get offended and feel like, well, no one supports me. But most likely, you know a bunch of real people in your real life that you're not making healthy or keeping healthy connections with,
Right.
and you've alienated. And we talked about this. You've
Right.
alienated yourself. Like a lot of times when I see people talking about secrets or not talking about secrets, it's coming from a place of fear or alienation. Because
Right.
if I really need help, I'ma tell.
Right.
And if I'm getting help and I don't tell, it's because I don't want to be hurt. Because that's
Right.
the flip side too. You can't tell everybody everything because some people got bad energy, bad intentions. They
Right.
not they don't care.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It
Right.
comes down to, really, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, all it comes to is that self-accountability. I take all the necessary steps to kind of fix that problem myself or kind of figure it out myself before I came and dumped it on you. What are you doing?
When you
$500? Why don't you call me
$100 in?
$35 in? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you say nothing about then? Like, are you doing your due diligence to keep yourself from being in a situation to where you're drowning and drowning and drowning, and then somebody has, I gotta swim out to the deep. You know what I'm saying?
To come and save
That's
you.
just like people. That's just like when people we know, you feel me, whether it's your friends, cousins, or relatives,
Right.
They just went to the concert.
Mhm.
Flicked it all up on social media, posted all up,
Right.
And then literally Tuesday roll around, you need some money,
You need some money.
but
Life is hard.
it's falling apart. The sky's falling.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
I just don't know what I'm gonna do.
You feel me? Yeah, the sky's falling. You feel me? You had a great weekend though.
Right.
You feel me? You cheers.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? All of it up.
Mhm.
You had the best night of your life.
You know what I'm saying?
But then Tuesday comes
Ordered
around.
5 dresses off the Shein. Only wore one.
But-
5 dresses.
But you tried them all on.
Got them all on. Pick the right one. Now you got 4 that
Extra.
you might not
Extras.
even. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For another occasion or whatever it is.
For any occasion.
But as soon as an emergency strike 4 days later,
Right.
nobody care about you.
Right.
Nobody there for you.
Right.
You're always the one who's there for everybody. You're on your own.
So like,
And sometimes that do be true. Sometimes you do have people who are the go-tos, and they always help everybody else. And when it's their turn, they kind of always find themselves alone. But for the most part, I feel like we hold on to stuff that we really should be talking about. We talk about things that's really not the stuff we should be focused on.
Right.
And we are not accountable. And people like to play victim.
Right.
People love to play victim when they make bad decisions.
Right.
And you have all these explanations
Right.
for all the stuff that you make public.
Right.
But meanwhile, you want my help for things that you ain't even told me about. Like, be real.
Right, right.
And also, how can we do that if we live in a world where everybody is constantly watching and judging? Like, like he was saying, Max said, it's hard to show yourself when you're trying to figure out how to be authentic and show yourself, but you don't want to be judged.
yeah, like when it's you, like and like, how easy is it for you to expose yourself to your secrets? I mean, even to your own self.
You
Like
have to yourself.
Man, sometimes you can look in the mirror and you just, you'll try to conquer what you need to conquer, start crying and things like that.
Right.
But then you'll shut it off.
You go
Like,
so deep.
Yeah, you go
And you
so
go, oh, we
deep.
got
And
an
then you
appointment.
like, you don't even want to expose yourself to this stuff. Like, we've been in those type of situations to the point where like we'll even make up a character and for our own selves
Right.
to protect ourselves from that
Mhm.
secret.
We all have to carry our own load at the end of the day. Even when you got somebody to come in and do that for you. But even when it gets so heavy, if it's something so heavy, I have cried on shoulders that I should not have cried on.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to get it out. I had sat with it with myself. I had trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I was defeated. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you can't, you gotta stay in the fight. So when you get that heavy and you have to go to somebody, everybody glad to see me or whatever it is. If I got something heavy, I ain't gonna walk through the door like, woo,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
they
saying?
haven't seen you in forever.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And they all happy or whatever.
Like what you're talking about
Yeah.
is from your lens of a person who, one, got disciplined,
Right.
2, who have a system, 3, who got a strong circle. So you got disciplined enough not to have emotional vomit.
Right, but it still has happened.
But you're coming from a place of a person who has these attributes.
Right.
What's happening right now in the world, is everybody have all this same stuff happening that
Right.
make them feel like combusting,
Right.
but they don't have discipline like you.
Right.
They don't have a circle.
Right.
And they don't have, like, a lot of people just don't have that fight. Like, if you born with shoulders, it's easy to say don't crumble.
Right. But there are those people who kind of like, really, if you're in a dark moment or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and you need somebody to talk to, and Twitter or Facebook or Instagram is here.
And you just
Hey.
spewed it all out.
What you going through?
I feel like jumping off today,
No,
but I
no,
didn't.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
having
no,
a
no.
coffee that I stole, and my dog died, and I'm fat, and nobody loves me,
And
but I'm here.
Like, you're like I said, like you putting your
That's the
secret.
only- that's the only
topic
outlet.
is secret. So now your secret is just wham. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do it.
Yeah, so you just expose yourself to comedians.
Yeah.
You know what
To
I'm saying?
critics.
To critics.
To the evil, too.
Yeah, but at the same time, you also go have the people that's sympathetic.
Right.
You also go have the people
That's your-
that's
that's-
either shoulder to cry on.
Right.
You might even get a few dollars.
Like real
You know what I'm
sympathetic.
saying? You know,
Right.
that's the real. That's real about the situation. You know, and that is.
But then it breeds those opportunities who hit Mac up just because we met this one time. You know what I'm saying? It breed it like it
You open
evolved.
yourself
That's how you should conduct
Yourself.
And you
and
know
that
what?
way you don't have so much of your business.
You don't
getting out
have
there
your
or whatever.
business out there where the comedians is making a joke out of you, but also you can better step back to analyze things. When you take time to think before you speak,
Right.
or to think about who you speaking to and where you speaking to,
Shut up and listen.
to shut up and freaking listen. One, you can hear your inner true self.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can hear your inner true self. Two, you'll get a sense of discernment. Like, do I really need to talk to somebody, or do I really need to take action? Like, do I need to spend time calling 10 people to tell them my power is about to be cut off? Or do I need to call the power company
Just call
and make
them.
a
Tell them
payment
your
arrangement?
secret.
Right. I'm heavy on, like, I'll show up. I show up for my tribe. I'm consistent on social. I am not fully interpersonal on social.
Right.
Cause we here to be, it say social. It don't say personal.
And then people have their opinions, the comedians, the
Mhm.
politicians, and whoever else has it, and it's spread in little clips and not the before, not the after, and whatever it is.
And that, I mean, so this happens in
I don't
real
even
life.
know. How that happened?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't even
No,
know.
'cause they got me
you
messed
don't
up.
know. You was there.
Like, well, how you got you messed up? Well, how you got them messed up? Like, what's the full
Story.
story? So keeping secrets is something we see. I mean, like, it's all the time, and yeah, it can be helpful, right? Like, I might need to protect myself,
Right.
And that's another thing I think we don't respect enough. Is like, my healing is my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Your healing and your happiness is your responsibility. So if you bring me information that is impeding your life, I feel like, yes, as a friend, a family member, or somebody who cares, I have a responsibility to say something or to give you advice to the best of my ability. But I don't now own your life.
Right.
Like, that shouldn't be on me.
Right. You
Like,
didn't lay
I
your
need
burden
to
on me
make
and
you
now I carry
better.
it.
Like, we each have to be responsible and accountable for our own outcomes. For me, yeah, maybe you didn't grow up with a mom who was abused and you have a root of abuse and you're going through a situation in this same community that nobody knows about where you're being abused.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk about seeing somebody else being abused, now you have to then admit that you're being abused. And if you're in that situation, that's hard. That's hard. So I just think we gotta learn how to be accountable and virtuous to our own selves.
Right.
Like when you exposing yourself to me, I have the right to question you.
Right.
Wait a
But,
minute, y'all.
like, you
Wait a
have
minute,
to
y'all.
be.
But do you think, you really think, cause do y'all really think,
You don't have to be honest.
do you really think that people come honest about that kind of stuff? Like, the minute somebody
I feel like if you
want
want to expose your
you,
secret, you got to be ready to be honest about it.
but that's the whole thing we talking about. People don't expose secrets; they expose problems, and most of the time they're not telling you the part they played in it.
Right. But since you expose it, I have the right to play detective now.
I'm saying, like, now. So with that being said, we have a culture where it's so okay to not be okay that people don't feel like they have to be accountable for their part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the middle of life is I. I am in the middle of everything that happens in my life. But somebody somewhere would try to argue me down, like, well, no, in these circumstances, you had no accountability at all. And I don't believe that's true.
Right.
To me, it's very simple. like first grade to fifth grade, for example. I'm not gonna tell the first grader information I'm gonna tell the fifth grader, simply because the first grader is not ready for this information. Now, I'm not withholding this information from them like they can't figure it out themselves, or if they didn't ask me questions, I wouldn't give it to them, but simply for the fact you're not ready for this information. Now, am I lying to you, or am I keeping a secret from you? Like, no, but I'm just saying that you're not ready for this information. Like, whatever how I feel personally, I like with talking to you and associating with you, I don't feel like you're ready for this information. So I'm gonna tell it to you bit by bit. I'm not gonna give it to you everything little by little. I mean, everything all at once. I'm gonna give it to you little by little. And that's why I think like therapists, have built relationships with clients. Like, because clients I'm gonna tell you little bit by little bit until you understand them, until and things like that. But if why would I tell you all the information at once?
The world is full of sick people right now. Everybody's showing up, everybody's together, but nobody really connected.
Right.
See what I'm saying is that it's baby steps to it. And yeah, that's like the end goal. But it's like you have to start somewhere. And I can't give you an answer to that without giving you what I just said. I have to start where people are at. And then even in for instance money. For instance, people have to start where they at with their knowledge of money. I can't give you all of it's hard for me to give you the information you desire for you to create a solution.
Because you don't have the fundamentals.
Because I literally don't have the fundamentals. I don't have the emotional intelligence for it.
And that's
and then and that just goes back to simple things that we learn as children. And
not throwing a temper tantrum, expressing yourself.
What about communication?
Right.
How to talk. There are some people who have lived 80 to 90 years old, and when you say to them, let's communicate, that one word, I've seen it. It's a trigger.
Right.
They go into a state of
outrage.
Communicate.
So I think that's what you just said is the foundation to everything. Is communication. How do you have a healthy form of communication to the point where I don't feel like I need to have secrets?
I don't need pyrrhia of the mouth. I don't need secrets.
Right.
I don't need to have unhealthy methods of coping or outletting. Okay, and so. And
then in the communication, that's what I'm saying. For my answer for your question is it goes back to being that person who is receiving this, because communication is sender and receiver. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just to be clear, am I receiving the message that you're sending me properly? So it comes to the person who is receiving the secret to start asking those necessary questions and to build, when you see you hitting a roadblock, and it don't have to, you can either go, it depends on the situation. You can go right to the heart of the matter and be like, boom, 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 we need to do something about this. Or you can just hey, well, I can tell you kind of, in your mind, I can tell you're not giving me the whole story. So let's, just it ain't, not necessarily an interrogation, but an interrogation.
I got a question.
And it's just hard.
Yeah.
Are there good secrets?
Yeah, this is why I guard my energy, because just it's a two-way street.
What are some examples of some good secrets?
I won the lottery. Ain't telling nobody.
What about withholding information from people you love? Is those good secrets?
Well, I had a friend who recently threw his girl a party for her birthday, and up until that day, it was a secret.
It's a good secret.
So surprises.
Surprises are good.
Pleasant surprises.
Doing things for yourself.
Charity. Anonymous
charity. Doing work on yourself where you never, so you might go to therapy.
Right.
You might tell a lot of secrets. It might be family secrets that come out, and you never talk about those things in front of your family, but they benefit off of the better you.
Because we do come from dysfunctional families, and sometimes I'm going to therapy. He thank you, all that now, blah blah blah, and that dysfunction rubs off on you. So I'm keeping this to myself.
Because now you're being judged for healing.
As you start to heal, and as you start to see the dysfunction, you start to see that kind of stuff, you can still keep your mouth closed. Don't come back talking about, oh, my therapist said this, my therapist said that, y'all. That's not what you're going for. You just quietly heal on your own. If it's a secret, keep it a secret, and that's a good secret to have for yourself.
But even if you don't do that though, even if you don't tell, just sometimes people's knowledge of the good things in your life can be put at risk because they don't have the best intentions within themselves. Like, try your makeup before you try me, because I just want to throw hands. Like, I protect my energy to also protect other people, because I know whether I'm telling you something good or bad is giving you more access to me.
Right.
And I don't want anything impeding what I'm putting out into the universe. And sometimes just people knowing your good stuff can be triggering.
Right.
People can be bothered internally by you being okay, even by knowing that you cope well.
Right.
People can get butthurt. Like, oh, you ain't got no problems. You think you just know what you're doing because you ain't not. Man, we be stressed out. You ain't like us. Oh, says you don't know what it's like.
Right. At the end of the day, like,
why isn't a need to know a secret?
Huh?
I think they are similar, and I think it could be.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Is there a need to know and a secret? That's very close, right?
It could be.
Like,
I think, it's not necessarily a secret, but, like even in still, you know what I'm saying? Like if we three hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Or it's a recent situation, like this is neat to know. Not everybody needs to know this.
Not everybody needs to know this.
But it ain't necessarily
a secret.
A secret.
Okay, so I agree with him that it is like a secret.
Yeah.
I will say this. Just because it's a secret from you,
right,
don't mean it's a secret to me.
Right.
If it's my information,
right,
I may be free to give it out. That doesn't mean that it is free to the public.
Right.
So I think it's levels.
What
you think, Mac?
Yeah, most definitely is levels to information.
Yeah.
Like you said, like this is classified, this is top secret,
right,
and this is for public knowledge.
Right.
Like, is Area 51 real? Yes. Can we go there? No.
Right.
That's how I feel about me.
So it's like, do you know about something like this? Like, yes, I do know about it. Or can you tell me?
No, you can't get to it though.
I can't tell you that.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Just like when you get interrogated in a police room.
Right.
Do you know what happened? I was there.
Really?
Can you tell me? You gotta do your job now.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like
now I'm not telling you nothing.
Right.
Like, we might share a space, so when I go to the bathroom, are you coming in there wiping my butt?
No.
That's my part of my business. Everything is not for everybody.
Right.
Same thing with my trauma. There's certain things that I've gone through that I just don't want discussed with everybody.
Right.
But if I don't have a circle around me that is emotionally intelligent, and that's where it goes back to what you were saying. Like, the people, we have to really get good at communication with ourselves. Like, try your maker, don't try me, because I just want to throw hands. I work too hard on myself to be around people who don't want to work on themselves, because it's going to always bump heads. If I'm coming from a healthy place and I have boundaries, I respect information and secrets and levels and all this stuff. But you got emotional diarrhea, you not right, you crazy, you looking for any opportunity to unload, and you're always 1 second from combusting or being unwell.
Right.
Then you don't have capacity to respect my boundaries. When I tell
I'm just happy to know you, so I just
misery loves company.
Right.
So when I say, hey, this is pushing me to my limit, we need to stop. You don't care. Your instinct is what? To press, because you only know dysfunction. When I say, hey, this is a secret, you can't respect that, because what? Your nature is to run your mouth. Right? Matt, give us your 2 cents.
Like, to be honest with you, I don't know, like, it could go either way, honestly. I just feel like when it comes to these secrets, you have to, like you said earlier, just be cautious about who you telling your business to, number one. You have to put your own guards up, protect your energy like you said, and then the person that's like giving this information or giving your secrets out, like, are you being mindful of the verbiage that you about to spill out to this person and what they about to do? Like, do you trust them that much, and do you know them that much, and their actions what they're going to do with this information. Like, you know, like, be mindful. I don't know. You have to be mindful. And like, regardless of what information you give me, I have to protect myself. Like, I don't, like, you know, so it's at my disclosure what I want to do with this information. A lot of times when people tell me information, tell me secrets, I just think that they're venting. And that's how I protect you too. Because like in a world that's so sensitive now and it's changing so rapidly, and that was cool yesterday ain't cool today. So
same jokes.
Them same jokes that was cool yesterday ain't cool today.
Right.
Like and so it's just like it's hard to keep up with the now when the now is changing like that, literally, like right before our eyes.
Right.
Like if you had to give your 2 cents on like protecting your secrets or protecting your privacy or letting the information go, like what would you tell somebody in this instance?
I'll let say it go and then I'll close it out.
Perfect.
For me, the way I handle my things is I find somebody who I kind of like the same level of empathy, or somebody that I trust, or somebody who I just kind of feel, you know, some type of connection to. I try to handle my things myself as much as I can, and then, like I said, just know who I'm going to and why I'm going to them. You know what I'm saying? And in you know what I'm saying, in communication, go back to communication. Just effective communication.
It sounds healthy.
It's nutritional. It's fulfilling. Man, I really think it comes down to where you are. And I'll keep it personal. I'll say, like in terms of what I would tell someone, I would just go back to the conversations I had to have with myself. And it really doesn't matter whether you're the sender or receiver. When I was the person who, when it was me and I had a whole lot of crap going on all the damn time, number one, the first thing I had to do was just like tell myself, like, you can't afford to help everybody else and you can't help yourself, right? Because you are the sender and the receiver synonymously. Sometimes you're gonna be the person needing help, and at the same time someone's gonna come to you. And so in that situation when my stuff wasn't right, I had to just be honest with myself and be like, let me make a list of all the things I need to do for me to get right. I really had to have that tough but honest communication with myself, to even go so far as to say, man, there's probably some stuff about you that you don't even know. Like, you don't even really know how to have this conversation right now that we trying to have with ourselves, because there's certain things that you need to learn and unlearn. So just make a note that we need to start talking better to each other, and come see me in 6 months or a year. Like, let me hunker down and focus. Like this is not a game. I need to be aggressive about getting into a healthy space with myself. Then on the flip side, you know, now being a person who I'm fairly healthy, I'm, you know, healing. I think it's an ongoing thing, but I have a lot of substance. I have a lot of wellness. Like I've gone through a lot of phases, right? Now it's about keeping that communication clear by respecting my own boundaries. So I would say, if you're the person who everything is in a turmoil, or you just don't have capacity to be there for all the people who are coming to you, have those conversations with yourself. Like, we gotta start being real with ourselves. Right. And then on the flip side, when you are that person who has capacity to be there for people, have those healthy conversations with yourself about how to still let people live and own their lives, and how to respect your boundaries. Because at the end of the day, none of us is all the way fully there. We're all still on a journey, still on a trajectory of growing, of changing, and healing. And I think as much as we talk to each other, and as much as we want people to shut up and listen to us, it's so critical that we shut up and really listen inside of ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Big facts. So after all that, you know, all of that, make sure you stay tuned for many more conversations like this. It has been a pleasure. I am Mac West.
I'm Su1cide Hotline.
That's it.
Shut up and listen.
See y'all soon.
Peace.